now.
Right.
Like, fuck.
Oh man.
You never know with Joe, dude. We could have been thrown into some weirdness right then and there.
All right, guys, we're back on for part 2 of our session 0 here. Okay, and I feel bad if this has already been like super covered. So when I look at the character sheet, there's a box and it says armor class, melee, and ranged.
Yes.
Right, and I believe you said it had something to do with the shield. So
it
I have
totally...
a shield. So what does this mean?
Okay, so the shield adds +1 armor or AC for melee and +2 melee or AC for ranged. And the whole reason is that the shield is much more effective against ranged combat. It's easier to catch an arrow than it is to catch a sword, or it's more effective, I should say.
Right. So I have leather armor, and I'm carrying a shield, so I have 15 against melee and then 16 against range.
Correct.
Okay.
And then add your dexterity modifier if you have one on top of that.
No. I am strong and charismatic, and I can hold a beer or 10, but and I got a little wisdom, but no, I'm not very dexterous.
Okay, Joe. To further expand upon this question,
yes.
Can you walk me through the 2 squares and the 2 triangles on here to come up with my armor class? Because
yeah, totally, dude. Totally.
Okay, so I have leather armor.
Yep.
So that grants me AC 14.
Yep.
So what does that translate to in these 4 shapes?
Okay. Do you have a shield?
I do not.
No. Okay. So both. Do you have a dexterity modifier?
I do not. It is 0.
Okay. So then, yeah, you're going to be basically your AC is a straight 14
all the way across. That's what I thought, but I just want to make sure.
Surprised is just your armor class without a dexterity modifier.
All right.
Does that include the shield for ranged?
With surprised? No, because generally surprised, you don't actually have time to pull your shield up.
Okay, cool. So it's just the base of the 14.
Yeah, so it's without shield and without dexterity modifier.
All right. That was easily fixed.
Yeah.
Combat options.
All right, so the combat options. Everybody has the option to do, or actually, before we do that, let's get the attack bonuses put up for everybody first, because it'll kind of add in a little bit more sense, I guess you could say. So attack bonuses. Since nobody's a fighter, so everyone's attack bonus is just going to be a +1 for your base attack bonus, that very first diamond.
Yeah.
Melee attack bonus modifies for melee attacks with your strength modifier.
+1.
So that might hurt some folks.
Now, wait. Okay, so is it a +1 plus whatever, or is it a 0 then if you don't have that strength bonus?
If you don't have that strength bonus, then the +1 carries right over from your base.
So it's still a +1. Okay.
Yeah, so it's +1 and then modified with your strength modifier for melee.
So if you have a -1 attack modifier, does it then just become 0 with the +1? Okay.
Yep, it becomes
Great
0.
roll.
But if you have
That's
a
cool.
+1, but you have two +2 in strength, it's not +3, it's just +2.
No. It's base attack bonus plus your strength makes your melee attack bonus. Now, base attack bonus plus your dexterity modifier makes your ranged attack bonus.
Huzzah.
Gotcha. Yeah, and your base increases only if you're a fighter.
Yep, only if you're a fighter.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
That's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that range goes for like throwing daggers and stuff like that. Anything ballistic.
Yep, exactly.
All right.
Exactly. Now,
Hitting on like I was saying in the chat, man, streamlined but yet layers that are really useful and fun.
all right. Okay, so now, with those combat options there, standard attack. That's everybody's standard attack. The parry option, that is also something that anybody can do. Now with parry, as you'll see, there's 2 spots there. let me double check. I'm pretty sure, yeah, everybody except for Fenril. Oh, I'm sorry, and Skordromley. Okay, so basically just Minimus, Elric, and Echo. Your parry is only that first option, the AC +2.
Okay.
If you choose to parry. For dwarves, elves, and fighters, their parry option is the AC +4. Now, to explain parry, you can either on your action decide that you are taking the parry action no matter what, and you're square. Think you take that modifies your thing because you are actively parrying that combat round.
Yeah.
So that adjusts your armor class. Now, during combat, if you have not taken your action yet, and someone is attacking you, before the dice roll is made, you can declare that you are changing your action to a parry, which takes your action. You'll lose whatever that action is, when it would normally come up, but it immediately applies that parry modifier. So you can decide that at any time in combat if you have not acted. If you've already taken your action, then you're just getting hit.
Cool.
Or the dice roll is falling as normal.
Love it.
All right, so that's just a.
And then so press is logically you're gonna get an attack bonus, but you lose AC.
Yeah, well, no. See, that's the next thing I was coming to. The only people that have press and defensive fighting, the only people that's available to are fighters, dwarves, and elves.
Okay.
So the rest of you humans, those are not options available to you. For the dwarf and the elf, you guys can do the press attack or the defensive attack, which gives you the listed modifiers. Raises your attack bonus but lowers AC, or lowers attack bonus and raises AC. And again, those are just extra like combat options that you can take.
Just to be clear on the parry roll, though, if you declare an attack roll at the beginning, or wherever it is in your initiative position, when somebody attacks you, say they beat you with the initiative, then you can opt to parry, which gives you that AC +2 or AC +4, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or AC +2 for your character specifically.
Right.
Like
voiding your declared action.
Yeah. That is because we are going to run by initiative. So like say, just on that off chance, goblins are obviously a myth. Why would goblins be real? In our 1657 town of Berksford, there are some fairy tales that are obviously real. Dwarves and elves exist. But a lot of the other things have faded from memory of humans. Dwarves and elves, well, not these two because you guys are both young. So that's what I noticed here over in the chat. Yeah, so, Skordromley, 56.
Woo!
Curious, nice. Yeah, and 35. All right, groovy. So
Well, that's probably pretty young for a dwarf.
Yeah, dwarves live about 300 years.
Yeah.
Elves live forever.
That's a baby for an elf. That's an infant.
Did you run away from home?
Nope. We'll get to that. There are probably elven parents here.
Well, like us minimalist wizards say, it's not the quantity, it's the quality.
Right. For the humans, or for the three humans there, Minimus, Elric, and Echo, I'm going to ask that you are all younger than 50. You were all born here within the last 50 years.
I did. I started with 18 plus a D20, and I came up 36.
Yeah. Okay. That's groovy. That's groovy.
Nice.
So I'm probably pretty old by human
I'm gonna
standards.
live vicariously through the fact that I'm level 1 and say I'm young, bro. I'm young.
Right on.
I'm 19 and impetuous.
Where is it going? All right. Yeah. So I think. A couple things on the common activities. Or I'm sorry. Is there a question I was supposed to answer that I spaced on?
I don't know.
No, I think we covered all the little boxes on the character sheet.
All right. So then let's jump back to common activities real quick. So languages. That's one of the things you guys can add your intelligence modifiers to those language pips. If you have a negative, you cannot go below 1 pip.
Start with how many pips?
Start with 1 in all of those.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so everybody starts with at least a 1 in 6 chance. Each of those common
And
activities.
this is where at?
Common activities, the front page, kind of that bottom left box. Basically the skills, the dice.
Oh yes, okay.
Yeah, so that's the thing that you got to add 4 extra points to.
Yes.
And these 4 optional ones are ones that you anticipate maybe developing as the game progresses, or is that negotiable?
Those are optional ones that are left open in case there are extra skills. So potentially skills that could be learned, or if you guys have a good case for an additional skill not covered by the others that you would think would be cool to have.
And we're adding what to this?
All right, so your languages, you can add your intelligence modifier.
Only to languages.
Yeah, only to languages.
So
Joe,
do we
is
add
there any
another
mechanicals?
pip?
I'm sorry, was that? I think I got 2 questions there at the same time.
Oh, I was asking if we add another dot if we have a +1 in our intelligence.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
No languages.
Do the
languages.
2 caster spells? Do those have any the geometric designs down at the bottom of that box? Do they have any mechanical significance as far as casting spells?
Originally they did, when it's going by like the normal like spell slots and the way the levels work out with that. How it used to work is you would fill in a dot for each spell level that you had. Like you would fill 1 in it if you were only level 1 spells, then the second one when you got level 2 spells. But for now they're just decorative, and you can do any kind of fun art that you would like to do on them.
Well, that's how I'm going to use them.
I can summon anything I want with them.
Yeah, I mean, since I'm still casting by level, in that respect, I'm going to use them for that.
Yeah.
So here's something I would propose as maybe a negotiation with our GM. In terms of the common activities, what do you think about applying intelligence bonuses to any of those die? Taking in the assumption that you were, and if you have the intelligence, you would be able to apply that to many things other than language.
I wouldn't, because
It's a fair
sleight of
idea,
hand and stuff, right? Like,
yeah, it
Very-
Is that balanced? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why I asked you.
it just sticks to the languages.
Okay.
Now another thing that's modified is the open doors. Everybody starts with a base of 1, can't go lower than the 1, but that gets modified by your strength modifier. So if you have a negative, it just stays at 1. And that's literally like, that's not like picking a lock or anything like that. That's literally the brute strength of shouldering into a door or hitting a door with a thing if it's jammed or stuck, or if you're busting it open.
so I have strength +2, so would I have 3 pips then?
Yep, indeed.
Okay.
Indeed.
That would be for the doors?
Yeah, it's for open doors. And that's the skill that cannot be increased.
So which of these are affected by, I guess I missed that part, which of these are affected by dexterity?
None of them.
So climb, no? Okay.
Yeah, nope. None of them.
Int is for the language.
Yep, int for language and strength for open doors.
What about wisdom?
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
But your specialist, I thought that they already start with certain bonuses and
Yes.
bonuses, right? So
you can add skill points to everything but open doors, because
Yeah.
open doors is a physical strength thing.
yeah. But you
now,
basically
everybody
already have
starts with
+2
1
and everything.
Kinda.
What was that, Chuck?
Everybody starts with 1 pip in all those skills or not?
Yes, starts in 1 with all of them, except you've got 3 for
I got architecture, but
Yeah. All right. So, if we are good there,
Yeah. Good.
I'm trying to figure this out. Okay.
Oh man, the art in this book is out there, man. I just saw the picture. So there's a picture like it says magic user, and it basically is like a wizard like touching their head, and there's a guy's head exploding, and there's like brain matter going everywhere.
right? So,
I like that. I like that the magic user in that picture is a female, and she looks like a nun, and she's just like.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's I pretty much like I imagine, like mind bullets.
Kablamo.
That's telekinesis, Elric Starso.
All right. So is everybody good there?
Yep. Solid.
Yep.
All right. Then
I'm just spending my last couple copper pieces.
Then we'll pop over and just kind of get this quick little image of home. Down here in the bottom right, that's typical streets here in Berksford, in your home.
Yeah.
Our little random group. Forgive my cheap art. So Berksford, it is a river town. Literally, Berksford, the bridge, obviously being there, it has become a center of commerce. Obviously, you know, there's lumber that goes on. A lot of the traffic is shipped down the Thames River. There's also the sister town of Filton, which is through the wood to the north, which a few dwarves are there, but still it's mostly human. So a lot of ore and things ship down through Berksford as well. And a lot of the farming stuff from Berksford goes north into Filton. It's a pretty neat little, you know, change. And actually the cat population is there to stave off the rats.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's probably also disease-free.
Yep. All right. So, Berksford. We are coming up, it's about a week away to the autumnal equinox. All right, so the harvest celebration is upon us. The town of Berksford was founded 50 years ago, almost to the very day. It was, in fact, on that autumnal equinox, that the day of the equinox, 50 years ago. Everybody knows the story. During an eclipse of the sun, the moon passed by, the day turned into night, and that was essentially the day that Burke, let me flip over, I forgot his first name, Matthias Burke, the founder of the town, basically did that first bit when the town was founded. Boy, good one, Joe. So knowing that, you know, this little bit of history, this 50th, this bicentennial celebration coinciding with the Harvest Festival, let's go ahead and start with Skordramli, who, curiously, you don't remember much about being young. And this is a 100% plot device. Gee, I wonder why. Because I'm a jerk. So you don't really remember much of the first 6 years. Generally, you probably wouldn't remember the first 3, at least anyway. But, well, that's that little bit. So I guess the first question is, who is your family here in Berksford?
My family.
Yeah, do you have family here in Berksford?
My
And
family
if
are
not-
miners.
Okay.
Miners up in the mountains, and I'm here to. I didn't want to spend my lives, my years mining the mountains, and I came out looking for something different. Now I don't know what that is yet. I haven't figured out what that means for me. But I've come into Berksford fairly recently.
Okay.
Cool. Hearing that there's this celebration going on, to see what I might find here.
All right. Then I guess my next
My
question
parents
for
are
you.
very disappointed that I would leave the mines.
Okay. And are they some of the dwarves that live in Filton, in the mountain town north?
Most
through
likely,
the
they would
Devon
probably
Woods?
live in the Filton, and they would probably be, you know, up there mining, knowing where the gold is, or knowing where gems or whatever is getting mined up out of Filton in the mountains there north of Filton.
Okay.
And they'd always hoped that I would be a miner with them, but while I'm very comfortable underground, I needed to find something more to my life than pulling ore out of the bowels of the mountains.
Nice. I dig that. And here in Berksford.
I don't dig that. That's why I'm not here.
Very witty. I love it.
All right. And here in the town of Berksford, is there anybody that you know or anyone that is important to you?
No, because I've literally just come into town, hearing that there is a celebration. Dwarves are a dour sort, and we don't typically celebrate like this. So I'm trying to find out what this means.
Nice. All right. And what type of, if you happen to know, what type of goals? What is it that, or if you know, if you don't, like, it's okay. We can we're at the foot of a campaign, so there's plenty of time for those things to come in. But does Scored Dromley have any goals or a want or a desire? Does he crave battle? Does he crave adventure?
So being the dwarf that he is, we've obviously had to fight our certain number of battles in those mountains, defending our keeps and our holds. So I'm definitely quite skilled with arms, both axe and sword and so forth, and as well as the occasional firearm that we've picked up. But I would say my goal is to, like I said, I've spent literally my entire life in those mountains, digging through those tunnels, and probably at this point he's looking for something more than that. And that's, like I said, he's probably a little bit of a disappointment to his people, because dwarves are meant to mine the mountains, and I'm just looking for something different than that. Probably that, it may be because when he was younger in the mines, he was captured, or not captured, but caught in a collapse of a mine, and therefore you can see the scars, and maybe he got hit in the head as well a little bit. Maybe he's not quite where he's supposed to be, and he's a little bit. He's not worried about what he looks like, but he's definitely not the handsomest dwarf you might ever find. But he figures that there's got to be something more out there than just digging in the holes of the ground.
Nice. All right.
Very
Moving
cool.
on to see. It looks like Park changed the name to Dust, or is that nickname?
No, I didn't change it to Dust. I just figured that Fainril the Dust Serpent would not be known by his real name by anybody around here.
Oh,
Gotcha. No, that's beautiful.
So anybody that would maybe have come across Fainril the Dust Serpent would know him as Dust.
All right.
I like that a lot.
So then, Dust, who is your family? Do they live here in Berksford?
They do not. They actually live in the deeper Devon woods. And GM, if it's okay with you, I would like to say that Fainril the Dust Serpent is a displaced former member of the Lesser Dusk Court of Nobility of the Fae.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Okay.
That's some awesome ammo.
I love it.
No, like on the meta side, you guys are about to find out how badass that is. Okay, so it's nobility, huh?
Yeah. So he comes from a family who once was part of the court of Autumn, but has since been displaced. He is very young. He does not know much about being an elf. He knows that he has ability. He knows that she knows that she has ability. She knows that she is beautiful. And other than that, she does not know much.
Nice. I really dig that.
Yeah.
All right. And who in town is important to you? Or have you been here long enough to have any attachments with anyone else here in town? There are a few other elves,
Okay. What did they do in town?
Most of them obviously are craftsmen. They make some of the finest, more or less, furniture and kind of art objects and stuff. Things that also get shipped out on the river. Most of them, from stories you've heard, they've tried traveling, but the rest of the world is not as lenient or kind to people who are not to people who are not human. Berksford kind of, as they've said, seems to be an oddity throughout all of the rest of England.
But everybody here does cottage industry type stuff, correct?
Yeah. It's a quaint little hamlet, and everybody here, they won't think twice. They don't look twice at if an elf goes by. Elves some of the few dwarves, the few halfling, they're friends and neighbors, which is curious considering the stories that everybody in town knows, including the rest of you guys. That tolerance is not shared, and in fact, most people have never even seen an elf or a dwarf. These things are fading into legend as the world of man continues and pushes forward. Things like magic are at a very awareness.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
If Dust were to have any connections in town, it would either be with someone who can competently create scrolls, magic scrolls, and B, the town barkeep.
Nice. All right. So the competency in scrolls, we're going to hold off on a name for that. We're going to let our magic user name them because that's probably the same hedge wizard that is his that was his mentor. But the barkeep, what might be their name? Are they human or are they one of the other races?
It is a dwarven bartender.
All right, there we go.
All right.
It's the only female bartender that is dwarven within anybody knows.
Nice. And do you have a name for her, or should I throw something on that later on?
Ironwort.
Ironwort. All right.
That's a
the
good
Ironwort
name.
clan.
That's
Awesome.
all people in town know her by. That's all Dust knows her by is Ironwort.
That is awesome. All right. Cool. Anything else to add, or am I moving down the line here?
Move on down the line.
All right, right on. All right, Minimus, our human magic user. So tell me, who is your family? Do they still live? And if not, what happened to them?
My family does not live to me anymore. Of course, they were prominent. I come from a coastal city, and if you think about the spells I cast, animated artwork and airy water, there must be some elements involved with highfalutin, watery kind of areas. But I've abandoned this, much like, to use a meta analogy, Buddha. I've left all this. I'm looking for that minimalistic lifestyle because I've been plagued by dreams my entire life, visionary dreams, where I was being told information when I was a young kid. I remember being 5 years old in the castle, being told what it was to wear certain garments, and then asking my parents, and they said, "No one's told you this information." I knew this was something beyond me, something way beyond me. These visions plagued me until the point where I left and abandoned it all, looking just for simple answers where I knew they could be found in Burkport. I learned of a hedge wizard who knew of these things, and that is why I'm here.
Nice. Sorry, I'm just making notes. Okay. Now this hedge wizard, clearly, I mean, this answers that next question of who in town is important to you. So this hedge wizard, this mentor, what is their name? Are they male? Are they female?
They're female, and they've appeared to me in my dreams, yet I've never physically met them.
The hedge wizard?
The hedge wizard, yes.
Yeah, you have not met them. Do you know their name?
No, but they visit me frequently.
Okay.
He always wakes up before that part of the dream.
Right?
What's your name?
You hit it on the head there, though. Almost on a nightly basis now, as I go into the ritual of my meditation and slipping into the dream state, at some point I'm met by this visage of a woman.
Okay.
And to me, she almost seems like a witch. I know this is the hedge wizard that's talked about. This is where I gain my direction and my guidance within these dreams to gather the power. So when I rise in the morning and I turn to my journal, which is always next to my bed, and start to scribe down these experiences, and I think about that moment, I've never known her name.
All right. Does she even live in Berksford?
Well, this is why I'm here. And every time she sees me, it's somewhere local. I mean, you must understand, my dreams are not like most people's dreams. These are just simple, it's being aware in the moment. It's remote sensing around my area. So when in Berksford, I will see her. Yet it's obviously in a dream. And that's where I'm gifted with these supernatural powers. And,
Nice.
psychologically and on the subconscious, I'm taking in this information. Nothing ever happens. So, for example, when I see her in Berksford at the inn, and I go there to recover, her garment that she left at the chair, it's not there.
All right, mixing the dream with the reality.
Exactly.
Nice. Oh man. All right, that's definitely dope. All right, man, let's head on over to Elric Starsong.
All right, Joe. Cut me off here if any of these ideas are conflicting. Because I have quite the tale to spin here.
He crash landed in a mountain.
Right. So, to start with, who is your family?
Well, so that is the crux of the matter. I believe that Elric was born here in Berksford. But as a toddler, he was taken, and he doesn't know if he was kidnapped or if an arrangement was made or what, but he was taken to the capital and raised within a secret order within the church.
Ooh.
And then one day, he was given orders, after being ordained, to return here to Berksford with one mission. He was told one thing by the head of his order: protect Minimus.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
At all costs. And so
Okay.
I think it's unlikely I have any parents that are still alive given my age, but it's very likely I probably have brothers or sisters or nieces or nephews somewhere here in the town, but I have no idea. I was given the name Starsong because the order found me, alone, growing up in this order. Sometimes I would wander off to the priory and I would sing to the stars as a child.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Do I know that, Elric?
No, I don't think anyone knows that.
Okay.
The reason that I was sent here.
Oh, that is fantastic.
But I've certainly taken note of the many souls needing saving.
Right?
Especially this Elko chap.
It is quite a strange place. Such, especially if coming back from the capital, seeing all humans there, just the fairy tales, the common myths about things, because surely they're myths, and coming here and seeing these things that appear to have stepped out of storybooks, living side by side with humans.
Yeah.
I think upon coming back was probably the first time you'd actually seen real dwarves or real halflings, which you might not even be aware that you've actually seen halflings. They could have easily been mistaken as children just running through the
Right. And I was told where I came from, so I know this was my birthplace.
This was your home.
Right, and then I probably have family here. I just, if only I had some way to know who they were.
Right. No, that is excellent. Is there anybody in the town that you know that is important to you? Well, there's probably at least the priest here in the temple of the one true God, where you are cloistered.
Yes.
So
for
I guess
sure.
What is his name? Father who?
Benettini.
Father Benettini. Nice. Nice. Now, is Father Benettini local? Is he from Berksford, or was he also sent here by the church?
He was probably sent here by the church. I think the church has a habit of moving people around to avoid ties and preferential treatment.
Okay, I dig that. That's perfect. All right, and have anything else for me, or should I move down to Echo?
That's it for now. I'll have to discover the rest as we go.
All right. That's excellent. All right, and Echo. Who is your family here in Berksford? Are you even from Berksford?
I don't have a family in Berksford. I was sold to the river captain, the local merchant, for a bag of rice by my family.
Oh man!
They couldn't afford to keep me, so they sold me off to feed the rest.
Oh, that's funny.
Yes, too many children, common problem.
So I've been raised as a water merchant up and down the Tamis River all of my life.
Nice.
I've learned the ways of barter and trade. I've been hired on by Merrick, the local merchant, as a theft profession. I keep an eye out for nefarious people taking that which is not theirs.
All right, so that definitely answered my next question. So Merrick, the merchant here local in Berksford, he is someone who's important to you here.
He is important to me.
Nice. Dude, that is awesome. Sold to a river captain.
For one bag of rice.
So are you still property, or did you work your way into freedom from that river captain?
Over the 20 years he has had me, I have since earned my position as one of his men, and I will always have a cup and a hot meal when I come and find him.
Nice. That is awesome. Man, this is gold, guys.
Yeah, I'm loving it, man. You guys are
all right. And now the most important question that I actually have, and I'll have to ask it again when Park gets back. Have you guys met? Do you guys know each other? Obviously, Elric, you might know who Minimus is, whether or not introductions have been made.
Maybe or not.
No, I think I know. Because I think I've probably been spying on you as much as I can. It's a good question as whether or not you're aware of that, but
and I think
and the wisdom's really low, dude. I'm just kind of like
mutual connection,
hyper focused.
Yeah, I mean, as a priest within the village, I'm sure that I would have encountered almost everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I missed that, Chuck.
So I'm pretty sure Squard knows Dusk because of the mutual connection of Ogakura Ironwork, the dwarf bartender.
Right, the bartender. Yep. Yeah, I've got that name written down. I tried to give a thumbs up because I was in the middle of taking notes for Minimus.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You know,
she's a good lady and she means well.
You know, there might be an opportunity here to create a tie. Like, what if I get missives sometimes from my order through the river, through Echo?
Oh, I was already expecting that. And actually, I was just about to ask, did you meet Echo on the boat? Was it one of the times he was actually taking the trip? Did you meet when you were sent here to Berksford?
I mean, are you okay with that, Echo? I think so.
Sure, you lost a couple gold to me. It's fine.
That's why I'm so poor.
You're poor, right?
All right, and Park, you had stepped away. I'll go ahead and let Chuck add that bit in there again.
Oh, so I'm pretty sure Scored and Dusk know each other because of our mutual connection of Ogakura Ironwork, the dwarven bartender. So we've obviously drank together.
That would make sense. I mean, yeah, totally.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Awesome. That is excellent. All right, and now that we have, now that you guys have your characters, for this next bit, we're gonna set them aside because they weren't alive. Yep, they were not alive. But any rolls that need to be made, go ahead and use the stats that you guys have. So,
what the hell are you doing, Joe? Damn it!
Back before we were born.
Yep, before you were born, 50 years ago, before there was a Berksford, before this place existed, in a place very much like Berksford, and like the Devon Woods, but not quite the Devon Woods. Matthias Burke and Father Loam had gathered nearly 100 people, nearly 100 humans, elves and dwarves, together here in the night on this morning of the autumnal equinox, this day that, according to Father Loam, this is the day it must happen, for this is the day of the total lunar eclipse of the sun. And so Father Loam tells Matthias Burke, it must be this day. It must be this day. Oh, flipping my page. If we are to save all of our people, if we are to save the children from Atanyue Ninelegs, from the Naglord, from this King of the Wood, it must be today, for no other day will let you out to the place that I have come from. Nothing will let you out of these deep woods. We must go. It must be today. And Matthias Burke, future founder of Burksford, agrees with him. And so these 100 people following with him make ready to run for it. And Father Loam tells them again, all you need to do when the sky is black, when the moon is totally over the sun, you will be able to cross out of these woods and into another land, into the place that I have come from. You must run now. Oh, wow, that wolf was so perfectly timed. Sorry. And in that very moment, stepping out of the woods behind everybody, the goat men show themselves. They come tearing out of the woods, and the chase is upon us. As Matthias Burke shouts to the 100 people gathered, you folks there as well, they shout, "Run!" And the chase begins as all of these horrible, horrible beings come hauling ass through here. These men, these half men, half goats. So let's get some initiative for these random villagers that everyone is playing. And you may notice there's no spacing. We're on a picture. We're gonna be flopping back and forth as needed between space and between the spaces that for the thing.
All right, you want a 20-sider, right?
Yep, rolls 20 for some initiative.
This is 50 years ago, right?
Yes, this is 50 years ago. Squadromley definitely was born. Wow, Minimus.
Wow!
Squadromley was born, but 50 years ago, he was just a 6-year-old lad. Strangely, no memory of this event whatsoever. And we'll get to why that is. All right. So Minimus. Okay, so we're going to go in ICRPG style initiative so that we're not bouncing around and confusing everybody. So Minimus is definitely winning. Minimus has won the initiative. Minimus, Damien, you have won the initiative with your random citizen that is fleeing these goat men from this strange wood that is not the Devon Woods as they are known. With Matthias Burke and Father Loam kind of bringing up the rear. So what is it you're doing? Are you running? Are you trying to help people? Or are you going to try and keep these goatmen back? These goatmen under the control of the Naglord, this King of the Wood, Atanyue the Ninelegs.
I'll do neither. This citizen will drop to a subservient position and go into prayer.
Ooh, okay. Person is giving prayer?
Yeah, I'm going to give prayer. So, I mean, just like dropping down into whatever that culture group's prayer thing is,
right.
You know.
All right, well, they either worship, older gods or the Church of the One True God.
Okay. I'm gonna this particular one is going to drop down and pray to the Church of the New Gods. The new God.
The One True God?
One True God, yeah. That's what he's going for.
Nice.
Or he or she, I don't know. Whatever.
Because a little bit of meta knowledge, Elric Starsong in his training has heard of Father Loam. He is one of the 101 clerics that went missing. They were all regarded as saints, and nobody has seen them. Clearly, they died as martyrs. Little meta there for Alec.
Yes, Saint Loam.
Yep. All right, so yeah, this guy drops down and prays amid the throng of these 100 people fleeing through the woods.
Just like they're in the middle of a nightmare. Just like they're in the middle of a nightmare, and drop down and pray for, that you awake.
Well, surely they are in a nightmare. All right.
This could only be a nightmare.
Jason.
Okay. Yeah, so my nameless citizen, no, screw that. Paddle be my name. As my friend takes a knee and starts to pray as this goatman charge, I look around and I think that, actions are more likely to survive the night than anything else. I pick up a gnarled branch and I take a stance in front of my friend kneeling and praying to try and defend him.
Nice. Yeah, and so that puts you guys kind of held back there with Matthias Burke and Father Long. All right, Gary.
Okay. My citizen is going to climb a tree to get away from this.
Ooh. Okay.
Do I need to roll that?
Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll do this. Will help us learn a skill roll here. So go ahead and roll a climbing for this guy.
Okay, so that's a D6, not a 12, right?
Yep.
Now I don't use my climb, right?
No. Go ahead and use just so we have stats available. You can go ahead and use your stats. So this guy might be really good at it. Might even be a relative. Who knows?
In range?
Oh no, just the straight D6.
Oh, just a straight D6? Okay.
Yeah, and compare that to your pips. So we can count that as there you go, 6. That's gonna do it.
All right.
Remember, we're picking high. Yeah, so scuttles up a tree as the goatmen descend. All right. The goatmen, moving uncharacteristically fast, or perhaps characteristically fast for the hooves through these strange woods, come tearing into the crowds, hacking and cutting. But these strange axes they use, they don't seem to be cutting in a sense of blade-like. As soon as one of these what look like axes collide into one of the bodies of these people fleeing, you notice that the metal seems to whip out and wrap around, like more akin to like a man catcher or some type of magical harness, and yanks these people down and captures them. The numbers dwindling. Matthias Burke and Father Loam stand at the head, felling these goatmen as they come, but the goatmen are unending. They just seem to pour out of the wood every which way as the rest of the people flee south. And Jason, while your guy is standing there, let me go ahead and get a roll. One of the goatmen comes swinging one of these harness axes at you. Does 14 hit your AC?
It does not.
All right, it misses clean past you.
Well, wait. Meter beat is a hit?
Yeah, meter beat.
You know what? I just realized I do not have a shield, so it would hit, except that I'm in a parry, so it won't hit.
Okay, so you're taking a parry?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so you're able to like throw that blade off easily as it swings in.
Are we allowed to declare parry after the roll, or do we have to do it before?
Normally it's before the roll.
All right, good to know.
I should have given a little bit more time there. That was my bad.
That makes sense, yeah.
No, that makes sense. I just wanted to clarify so it's not an abusive thing, in case it is.
But you can still adapt until after you made a decision, which is fucking badass. Not. No.
This is true. And so that parry bonus, that applies all the way up until the start of your next turn.
Right.
So when it's called out of order like that. All right, and Father Loam raises his hands up, and this glowing golden light spills out of it, and this rush of wind comes through, kind of almost in the force of like a hurricane or a wall of wind, as he chants and prays to the one God to push these people back. And some of the goatmen are thrown off into the woods. Matthias Burke with his rapier is just chopping through and cutting them back. And one of the dwarves running is captured, and their small child, their 6-year-old child, is dropped and kind of stumbles and scrapes up a knee, gets a little scar on the face, or a little cut into the face as it's ripped into the woods. Chuck.
Skordromli's uncle, Grutgrok Dragonheart, sees this child being pulled off and wades into the goatmen that have tried to get to him, and will go reckless. So he'll press, knowing that perhaps he is the only chance that this dwarf has of surviving. And he'll attack something recently, so I get looks like an attack bonus of +2, so that's going to be a total of +5.
Whoa!
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn, that's a big ass attack bonus.
What the fuck?
That
And
is
damage
a
is just a straight die roll, right?
Yep, just a straight die roll.
So he does 6 points of damage to this goatman that's in front of him. He swings his axe, his two-handed axe, just trying to cleave through him, trying to get to this dwarf child that has been pulled off,
Nice.
knowing who it is.
Yep. So that is enough to cleave that goatman in twain. He drops dead. Enemy killed. But again, the goatmen are unending. They seem to be pouring out like a river into an ocean. They just will not stop.
Yeah, and Grutgrok just stands there like a rock against this wave of goatmen, and this is ultimately where he will probably perish in his attempt to save the dwarf.
Nice. All right. And Park.
Brother Barnabas, an acolyte of Father Loam,
Nice.
looks to Father Loam as he raises his hands and golden light emanate from, and he knows the power that Father Loam is channeling, and he tries to do the same.
Ooh, all right. So give us a wisdom roll to see if he can voice his prayer to reach the one God, to see if he can get him to answer. Oh, he does not.
Oh no!
We're gonna say Brother Barnabas is a little unsettled by the ferocity of these goatmen and trying to recapture these people, because Barnabas, especially as an acolyte, knows that Atanyue Nine Legs, this nag lord, this goat king of the wood, has taken children, has taken people for his own devices, and fleeing is the only option that you have at this moment, if these people are to be saved.
Barnabas pulls out his holy symbol and brandishes it, and his eyes become wide, and he turns tail and sprints as fast as he can.
Oh, all right. Hells yeah. All right, Damien.
Can you give me a?
Bang.
Yeah, can you explain just a little bit more in detail the spatial configuration in terms of? I understand it's a big milieu. Is there like a boss goat guy in front of us versus like? Can you give just a basic description?
Yeah. So what you can see immediately with this choked heavy forest, small animal trails, fungus growing up in different areas, cobwebs, an air of kind of mysticism in this place. And these goatmen, you do not see Attenue the Nine Legs anywhere yet, but his people, his minions, these goatmen, are just a horde coming out of the wood, chasing down and trying to capture as many people as possible, literally trying to stop everyone from fleeing.
Okay.
So you do not see any big boss yet, just the tangled undergrowth that does not seem to impede these goatmen in any way, shape, or form.
Gotcha. So I guess my nondescript villager, we'll call her Anne Marie. She's a devout follower of the one true God. And in her prayer, as she says, "As I stand here on top of the mountain and look down upon all the tragedy below," she's going to cast an ESP spell on one of the goat motherfuckers. to see if I can get any information regarding what the fuck is going on.
Nice. So yeah, just give us an intelligence roll to basically just to see how successful the casting is.
All right.
Oh, and actually, you know what? I'm skipping ahead. The way magic works, you start casting the spell, and the spell will actually trigger at the end of the round.
All right. Well, there's my roll.
That is awesome.
Just because it takes that amount of time to push into it, and that is definitely going to be a success.
Yeah.
She's been on her knee praying, so.
Right.
I was just going to ask if we have like a room target or if we use the save number, or how does that work?
Yep. So generally, I was going to be running with like kind of flat and static target numbers, unless an armor class was involved of an enemy.
Sounds great.
So for this point, we're assuming a 12 unless it's directly attacking another guy.
Okay.
So because ICRPGs rules. All right. So yeah, you're praying, or she's praying for this
Casting
gift.
ESP. She's casting ESP to get information from the enemies.
Yep. All right, Jason.
Well, I parried, so that's my action, right?
Right. Well, no,
Yeah.
it's back to you now. The parry round is over. There's still this goatman in front.
Okay.
So
But
if you
if I-
take an action here, you will not have parry available again.
Really, then it's just a choice to parry, because what else would I would do then? Right.
Swing on the goatman or give up and run. There is still a goatman in this in your face right there.
So this woman I'm protecting behind me, I'm gonna join in with her prayer, after I parried, and I'm just gonna ask for protection from evil.
Oh, okay. You're gonna attempt to get the protection going.
Yeah.
Okay, give us a roll as you start praying for this protection from evil.
So just with my wisdom bonus, right? So.
Yep. Yeah, with that caster's bonus there.
There we go. It's barely.
Yeah. Awesome. So you're praying for this divinity.
Right. And Matthias and Father Loam are right there, right? They're not running. They're there, right?
Yeah, they're kind of they're acting as like that standing line to try and keep the goatmen at bay. But there is only the two of them. So they're doing the best they can to protect and save as many people as they can.
Gotcha.
All right, Gary.
So being that there's a lot of chaos going on the ground level, being up in a tree, my character pulls a bow and a bolt and performs a sneak attack on one of the goats in the far back.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So sneak attack will add an additional +2. We're just gonna normally you would have to do the stealth as well, but I think in this chaos we'll just call that they definitely have not seen you.
Okay.
Just so we can get that fun going. So that's an additional +2 to your ranged attack bonus.
So that's just to hit?
Yeah, for your attack roll.
Okay. So I'm still rolling the d6 though, right?
Oh no. So it goes to your to a regular attack roll, a d20.
So a d20?
Yeah,
Okay.
plus your ranged attack bonus, plus an additional 2.
Plus my ranged attack bonus. Where is that at? There it is, +3. Okay. +2? Oh, jeez. Okay, so +5.
You got this.
I got
Oh
it.
yeah,
Boom.
you do. Oh yeah,
All
you
right. And now that sneak attack.
Yes.
So the normal attack, whatever the normal damage is, plus an additional d6 for each pip that you have in sneak attack.
But no bonus other than that.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, as the specialist gets the benefit of adding extra dice. Ooh,
So I have
all right.
I have 3 in that.
Yeah, and what's the regular damage of the bow?
A d6.
Okay, so if you have 3 pips, then that'll be 3 extra dice on top of the d6.
Yep. So I rolled 3d6. Oh, so it'd be 4d6?
Yeah, because there's the bow damage,
Oh.
and then there's the additional damage.
Oh, let me add another one to that. There you go.
Yeah. Whew. Yeah,
So-
that guy is definitely dead. Just figured this helps a little primer into the thing.
Nice.
Damn.
Yeah, that shoots clean through and sticks the goat man to a tree.
Good
So
God.
he is hanging there and dead. All right, and on my round, Elric, or I'm sorry, Jason, that goat man is swinging on you again.
Okay.
5 misses, which is a good lucky thing.
What's that? Protection from evil, obviously, right?
Well, no, the spell hasn't kicked off yet. It kicks off at the end of the round, which is the
Oh.
end of my turn. So what would have happened if you were hit is there's a check to see if you can maintain the spell, because there's a chance being hit and taking damage breaks your spell casting.
Nice.
Okay.
It's like an interruption is possible then, even for the enemy, like kind of that works the same way.
Yep.
Like we see somebody casting a spell, we could try to interrupt it.
Yep, exactly. Because it's in the kind of general order that they go. The spells trigger at the end.
That's interesting. That's a much higher degree of tactics than you even get from like 5e.
Yep. All right. And
Plus, usually speed factor and all that shit. Like, I don't know, in 2E, man, it gets layered, bro. But that's what slows the game down. This is perfect.
right?
Yep.
I like this.
Other
I like
goat men are swinging through. 12 more people are grabbed and dragged back into the deep wood by these goat men. As more surge into their place and push forward. Matthias Burke again is cutting them down, and he looks back at everybody. Run! Get to the wood's edge! Get to the wood's edge! And he looks up at the sky as the moon is beginning to close over the sun. The sky slowly beginning to darken. And Father Loam is still just holding that line, praying as hard as he can to keep that wind blowing, which is actually driving the goat men around the sides of them. All right, and now the ESP kicks in, and so knowing how to listen to the thoughts inside, you're looking for the thoughts inside this goat man's mind.
Well, I can't make the assumption, but I mean, if I can tap into this hive mind, I might know what the fuck is going on. I mean,
Let's see,
I don't assume these are individuals. I don't assume anything.
Right.
I'm just a villager. Anne Marie, she has,
right?
she goes to church every Sunday and
Right.
has kind of odd dreams and shit every now and then.
So it does affect a single target, and since all of these goat men are kind of the same in this instance, one of them plucks out randomly, and all you hear is, "Must catch them, must catch them, cannot leave." Atanue says no, cannot leave, must catch them. And that's just this constant repeating thought driving like a herd through this thing's mind, and that's what you're picking up through there.
Well, she'll throw up her arms and say, "We are lost," and start running, following Matthias.
Oh, well, that'll be on your turn. This is just the spell hitting off here at the end.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's finally working.
Cool.
All right, and this protection from evil. So, was that being, now that this spell triggers, is that being cast on yourself, or were you putting it on another person?
I mean, I'm just a peasant who was praying, so I'm assuming I was praying for my own safety.
Pretty much. Right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So this grants additional bonuses against was it penalties to hit for the bad guys, and bonuses to save, which +1 for its level, basically.
Okay.
So it's basically while this spell is going, which 1 round per level, which the rounds, they do it backwards. A round is the full minute combat round at this moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Essentially 6 seconds per turn or per player segment. Yeah, so it's going to last a while, and all the way up through until your next turn. Not the one you've got coming, but the future one.
Cool.
Because it just triggers. All right, so back to Chuck there.
Yeah, I don't want to track time, so you just let me know when it's down and up. And we'll go with that. I'll just leave that in the DM's hands.
All right, so Gridgrog just stands up there next to Matthias Burks and knows that this is probably where he's going to go down, but he's going to save as many of these villagers as he possibly can, and he just takes another swing at the next one, and he continues to go reckless, knowing that that's the only way to take as many of these guys down as he can.
Oh, nice.
Going for it. Blistering.
Yes.
That's a 13.
Yep, 13 definitely hits the AC of these things.
With 4 points of damage as he swings his axe through there. still trying to find out where the dwarf that he knows is probably his nephew that's been taken.
Right.
And
So behind you,
surrounded by these goatmen.
right behind you can see that he was scooped up by the mother, and the father was freed when you cleaved that other one down. So they have scooped him up, and they are hauling ass. They're maybe another 100 feet or so through the forest, and you can see your brother looking back, kind of pleading, with his eyes, kind of knowing that he can't talk you into leaving.
Yeah, as he does that, as I swing and I cleave this goatman in half in front of me, and I turn around and I don't salute him, almost like, go to safety, my brother.
All right.
We shall see each other in the mead halls.
And as you're looking back that way, with this moon closing in over the sun and the sky darkening, you can see a shimmer at the forest's edge, which is maybe 250 feet back. But you can see this strange shimmer, and lands that are not the lands that like lands outside of the Dolmen Wood, as where you are from is called. All right, Park.
Brother Barnus, as he is sprinting, is attempting to recite the temperance of Brother Igban that he has learned through all his learning of catechism from Father Loam. He is having trouble, and he is stuttering because he is so nervous, anxious while he's trying to run. Are there many other people around me that are sprinting with me?
Yes, there's just about 100 people, or a couple less, that are all like fleeing through, that are getting closer and closer to that wood's edge.
I guess my question is are they're very close to me and we're all running in a group?
Yeah, if you are running, yeah, they are all in closer to you. But if you stayed standing back at that line, they are farther behind you at this point.
The further that Brother Barnabas runs and fails to recite the temperance of Brother Igban, the more frustrated he becomes. He looks and he sees a small girl to his left, and he trips her, and he attempts to duck off to the right and hide.
Oh!
Nice.
All right, man.
He is a faithless coward.
That is so awesome. I'm not even going to have you roll anything for that. Yeah, you trip this young girl and peel off to the side and duck in behind some trees. That's awesome. Oh, man, that's so dope.
That is cool.
The music like rose right after you said that too. That was really cool.
Yeah. See, right there, man. The music supports all these actions.
Yeah. Sounds like a future villain in the campaign. Cough, cough.
Forewarning.
All right. Man, that's dope. All right, Damien.
Man, shit. You know what I want to do is get the fuck out of there. Yeah, Anne-Marie, like I said, she threw up her arms, man. Once the SP was engaged, and the depth of her prayer, and that kind of liminal, in-between space between what her faith is and what her own experiences are in her dream world, she realizes what she just heard from these freaking goat guys is that it's not good. So she's running as fast as she can, double move. Unless you can tell me what animated artwork does. I can't seem to fucking find it.
Yeah, you would actually need artwork for that to be able to be used.
Oh, I can't use like something on somebody's freaking shield or something?
Yeah, no, it's the oops, flip over real quick. The animated artwork, it lets
Don't
you
even sweat it, bro.
objects or creatures out of pieces of art.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah, so double move, I don't know, or a rush move, I guess, what do they call it in in the Flame Princess? Yeah, I'm doing a double move.
Yeah, we still call it double move. We know the terminology we're familiar with.
Double banner out of there, man. I got nothing. I got nothing.
All right, yeah, cool. So sprints away.
Yep.
All right. And Jason.
Okay. So I look over my shoulder and I see the woman I was protecting get up and run away. And is there anyone else around me? other than Father Mathis Mathis and Father Loam and the guy up in the tree nearby?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if you're actually aware of the person in the tree, but other than that, it's Father Loam, Matthias Burke. There's a grizzly dwarf. There's only like a small handful of people here standing this line, doing their best to keep as many goatmen as they can away from the people fleeing towards the edge of the wood behind you. As this moon, passes farther and farther over the sun, darkening the sky. But with you looking around, you also can see this shimmer at the wood line.
Yeah. Paddle shouts back at the few stragglers that are left behind up front here. You heard, Mathis? We got to run! And I want to see if I can persuade them with like a charisma whammy, and then I'm gonna run.
Okay, persuade. Oh, like the dwarf and Matthias Burke and Father Loam?
Yeah, well, I don't think I can persuade them. They were the ones who told us all to leave, right? So yeah. I'm shouting at all the stragglers like, hey, let's get out of here, like they told us to.
Okay, nice. Yeah, throw up some charisma.
There we go.
Ooh.
And then I turn tail and run myself.
All right. So yeah, some of the other people that were trying to hold the line move. We'll leave it up to the dwarf whether or not he does.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to control anyone. It's just.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of the other people that were, in acts of bravery, trying to stay the line like these other few, they realize the futility of it, and they turn and haul ass as well.
Yeah, I'm just trying to save as many people as I can.
Right. All right, Gary.
The shadowy figure in the tree takes a knee, hunches his back up against that tree, pulls his cloak over himself, and says, "I will wait and see what the shimmer is."
Oh, okay. So you're holding tight?
He is just kind of keeping his position, but staying as hidden as possible to gain as much information as possible.
Roll me that stealth.
Alrighty. So that's just a straight 20, right?
No, it's a D6.
Oh.
Yeah, this is one of the skills.
Yeah. All right. So just a D6?
Yep.
You made it.
All right.
5.
Hey.
Yeah, and how many pips do you have in stealth?
2.
2? Yep. So 5 and 6 out of those 2 pips are right there. So yeah, you kind of disappear into the shadows. It's not invisibility, it's using the shadows around you.
Full of predator.
Yeah, obviously there's shadows in this tree, especially with the darkening of the light as this moon pushes further and further over.
Yep.
And here it is at its apex. It is at the darkest, and that shimmer is full on, and lands that are not the lands outside of the Dolmen Wood are visible. And you can see the first of the people, the first of those fleeing, stepping across that threshold and into these verdant plains. And they all seem to kind of stop and look around, almost as if they're unaware of what they were just running from. They all just kind of gently are walking away, like all that terror and fear seem to have slipped away from them as they step out through that shimmer.
Huh.
All right, and of course these guys, our 2 folks are doing their things. Father Loam turns to Matthias and says, "They will need someone to lead them. You must go. Go!" And Matthias kind of gives him one last look and turns with the others and to the few of you that are there and says, "Leave now! Leave now!" And he starts running, bringing up the rear with the last of the stragglers in a sprint. All right, Chuck.
As Matthias runs to go with his people, I pick up an axe from one of these goatmen that I have severed before my feet. And I'm now wielding 2 battle axes in front of me. And I say, "Father Loam, he will need an advisor. I will hold the line. Go with him." And I'll just start spinning around as I can with axes and throwing weight into them just to try to take up as much space as I possibly can against this horde of goatmen, to allow both Burks and Father Loam to escape through whatever is behind me. I have no idea what's going on. I will know that I will feast with my ancestors in the mead halls tonight, and there will be no question on my resolve as I feast with my brothers and my ancestors.
Nice. All right, Bark. Hiding there amongst the trees.
As the goatmen bear down upon Brother Barnabas, he is so afraid that his bowels and bladder evacuate themselves.
Nice.
He tears his holy symbol from his neck and he throws it as far as he can. He looks up at the moon, about to enter its terminus from the apex of this blackening of the sun. He cries to something that he does not know what it is, and he says, "Whatever you are, I am yours. I am ambitious. Use me."
Ooh.
Tempting.
All right. Yeah, and as you scream that out, you kind of catch out of the corner of your eye that girl you tripped get wrapped up with one of those harness axes, and she's dragged away. That poor young child. And then you hear this voice comes into Brother Barnabas's mind. Yes, you are accepted. And Barnabas kind of blacks out in that moment. All right. As this surge of otherworldly influence kind of overtakes him. Excellent. I'll be using that mofo in a bit. All right. All right, and Damien. The moon is just beginning to slide away from the sun. The first sliver of sunlight creeping back over as the eclipse begins to wane.
Anne-Marie has started into a full trot at this point, and she's splashing through the puddles that are spraying up onto her red dress. And she has a scarf that she discards to the side. And in this moment, she stops and she realizes that she's been here many times before in the same situation. How many times has she been in a dream where she's being chased off a cliff? Or she's standing there naked in front of her peers? Or in some situation where she knew that if she just committed to the fact that she had control of this dream, that she would be saved and her moment would be safe. She takes this moment and stands firm into that mud that she just splashed through and pinches herself, realizing that this is not a dream. She commits to the fact that it is a dream.
Ooh, so is she left standing there, or does she rush through this shimmer before her?
She's standing there pinching herself, telling herself it's a dream. And if it's a dream, she will have full control of whatever destiny. I don't know if you've ever been in that situation where you're in a dream, you're in that fucking cusp where you're like, I need to jump off this cliff and fucking fly. That's what she's doing right now.
All right. Jason.
All right. Paddle's running through the dark woods, and he sees the shape of this woman throw up her arms. He drops the branch, and he grabs her by the waist if he can, and tries to just keep running with her. The damned mad woman, I tell you what, if we ever get out of this, I'm going to buy a boat and never touch the damn forest again.
All right, and the shimmer is before you. Do you rush through it?
Yes.
All right. Pushing through that shimmer, the two of you notice that the surrounding land, it doesn't feel as old. It doesn't feel as deep. It feels thinner. It is not a place you have known. And then even as you're standing there and you begin to slow your steps, you find yourselves not quite remembering the woods that you have just left. This what was it called? You can't seem to remember. And it feels calm and kind of peaceful out here. All right, Gary.
So taking all this information in, I scribbled the name Barnabas on a small little note that I have. and I'm keeping track of who's doing what.
All right, that moon is sliding farther and farther off. The shimmer is slowly beginning to shimmer less. So what is it? Are you just keeping notes, or are you?
He's taking notes, and information is always powerful.
All right, staying in the tree.
Staying in the tree.
All right. All right. On my go, some of the last couple of stragglers are being grabbed up by Matthias and urged and pressed towards this shimmer. 8 more people are lost to these harness axes that these goatmen are swinging, these strange magical things. And Burke himself pushes through that shimmer. Father Loam, exhausted, lowers his hands and collapses to his knees as the moon fades farther and farther over and the shimmer disappears. Those who are still on this side in the wood, you are still in the wood. That last fleeting moment, any who chance to, you go to the right zone, any who chance to look back, see some final figures looking through these strange hooded figures deep in the back. And finally, that last and final moment as everything just kind of begins to fade and fade and fade. You can see this figure, clearly the leader among the rest of them, standing out above and strides his way through. The goatmen kind of part and bow and form this circle around behind him as they basically just pay homage to Attenue, the Nag Lord, Attenue the Nine Legs, the King of the Wood. And my last one. And then for the rest of you, those who have cleared their way through the woods. Oh, sorry, there are many behind the scenes things. For those that set foot, that made their way out. Did that place the right thing?
Mm-hmm.
Curse these.
Bring it to the forward.
Yeah, I was just saying. Bink.
There you go.
There we go. Those who have gotten out, bink, see that. Oh, he's got to go away. Stop. Those who have gotten out are standing in verdant fields. The sun is shining once more. There's a river not too far here in the distance, visible on the edge of the wood. Everything that has just gone through, the whole thing, the strangeness of those woods, the goatmen, all of these things, the names of those places are fading, turning into just myth, dreams, surely nothing that was real. As you stand foot in this other world, and Burke looks around and in those last fleeting moments of memory of the place, he kind of just exhaustedly says, to keep this place safe, we'll have to build an outpost. We need to live here. Someone needs to keep this place shut. This wood, and then he kind of just looks around at the beauty and tranquility of this natural beautiful place, and he says, this is where we should settle. I think this is where we were going. This would be a lovely place for a town. And thus was the founding of Berksford. 50 years later, none of those things even are a glimmer in anybody's memory as the town makes ready for its semi-annual, or I'm sorry, it's not bicentennial. I don't remember what it was, for its 50th anniversary for this harvest festival coming. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this harvest festival coming in less than a week. Days away, 6 days to this harvest festival here in the tranquil town of Berksford. So that is session 0 and session 0.5.
Oh, well done.
The beginning of Bad Moon.
I feel the bad moon rising down.
All right, and go ahead and make note, probably in pencil. Everybody add 500 experience points to your characters for events that transpired in that other place. Even though you weren't your characters, we stepped into the role of the people fleeing from that other spot.
Oh, that in itself is a obvious mystery. What the frick?
Right?
What?
So that's obviously the characters don't know it, but that is 100% meta knowledge of the founding of Birchford and the events that led to it.
Oh, dude. Damn.
So if this seems like a campaign you guys are ready to dive into, like that's what I got for our beginnings.
Awesome.
Good kickoff,
Well
Joe.
done, man. Yeah, super awesome. Wow. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for joining us this evening here on Roll for Effort. And if you enjoyed what you saw, please like and subscribe, share with your friends, let people know. And thanks. Have a great night.
No.
Oh man,
Rolling the credits.
Oh my gosh.
does that worked for everybody? Was that all right?
That was fun. Huh?
Oh yeah.
That was awesome.
I tell you what, I had
That
the
works.
butterflies the whole time leading up to this. I'm like, man, this is gonna fucking suck. Oh man, this is
No, it was awesome, man.
All right.
Very good.
Fucking amazing.